here for a Grid 2.0 hearing, and it should excite us all. This is a good subject. It's an opportunity for us this morning to hear testimony from a panel of experts to evaluate what's actually happening with technological innovation for the electric grid. No other electricity network on Earth provides as much power to as many people and as reliably and affordably as our American grid. It really is a modern marvel, and I think we should be proud of what we have accomplished. Keeping the lights on, as all segments of the industry have for the past 100 years, is not just about flicking the switch or changing a bulb. It's highly complex, and it's a technical undertaking that requires scores of talented individuals. We've also reached just a very good point in time to be looking at this subject this morning. The grid was built incrementally, but the rate at which it changes or is compelled to change appears to be accelerating. A combination of market forces, technological innovation, and policy directives at both the federal and the state levels could well result in an unprecedented transformation of the electricity sector. Today's developments have tremendous potential, but they also present a number of challenges, like smoothing out the intermittency of variable weather-dependent generation. With the rise of distributed generation and smart grid technologies, Americans are gaining more control over how they use and how they consume electricity, but the grid must be even more closely integrated as a result. Innovation and new technologies, such as commercially viable storage, are clearly necessary to assist in this transformation. We're talking a lot in my state about microgrids. Alaska, many people don't think of as being a pioneer in some of these areas, but what we are doing with microgrid, which used to be called isolated islanded grids, is really making a difference in a state where sometimes it's tough to keep warm or keep the lights on. It's always best when public policy responds to proven technology advancements. Today, however, we must hope technology can deliver solutions to meet political mandates while satisfying our expectations for reliability and affordability. Two major questions that I have, and I will be proposing these to the panelists this morning, is over what time period can solutions be developed and at what cost? Credible estimates hold that new grid technologies alone will require a cumulative investment of between $300 and $500 billion over the next 20 years. This administration has rightly classified the electric grid as supercritical infrastructure because so many things, communications, roadways, hospitals, depend upon a functioning grid. The reliability of our nation's grid is therefore paramount, and the impact of policy directives must be seriously considered, not dismissed as somehow anti-environment or anti-future. I focused our committee on drafting broad energy legislation and expect that electric issues will be a key part of it. We do have an impressive group of panelists with us this morning who I think your testimony will assist us in this effort. We have Dr. Michael Howard, who's President and CEO of the Electric Power Grid. He's going to start us off with an overview of the changing integrated grid. He had hoped to use a computer for his presentation, but we're still using 19th century technology here in the Senate, so we're stuck with posters, but thank you for that. We have also Dr. Peter Littlewood, who is the director of Argonne National Laboratories. He's joining us because research is really the foundation of the federal role, and his lab is a key part of our efforts on grid modernization and energy storage. We also have Dr. Jeff Taft, who is the chief architect for electric grid transformation at the Pacific Northwest Lab. He's here to tell us more about PNNL's work with smart grid technologies and grid modernization. We have Lisa Barton, who is the executive vice president transmission for the American Electric Power Company, to share the perspective of a major utility that operates the nation's largest electricity transmission system, with 40,000 miles of transmission lines to deliver electricity in 11 states. And then to round out the panel this morning, we have the Honorable Lisa Edgar, a commissioner at the Florida Public Service Commission and president of NARUC, the National Association of Regulatory Utility Commissioners. She will present the state's perspective, which of course is invaluable because so much of this transmission is really happening at the retail level. So I welcome all of our panelists. I will look forward to your presentations. We do have a couple of votes coming up a little after 11 o'clock this morning, so we may be a little bit disjointed here, but we certainly intend to spend the full time this morning getting the most that we can from our panelists. With that, I'd like to turn to my ranking member, Senator Cantwell.